am here today discussing food inflammation testing, and I'm so excited to announce that here at the Sadkin Complex at Boca, we now offer this service. We can test you for different types of food and how your body reacts to it. So I have joining us today, Suzanne Garris from KBMO Diagnostics. That is the diagnostic company that we utilize for this testing, and I'm so excited to have her here today. Suzanne, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So do you ever feel exhausted, arthritis, maybe a brain fog? Do you have digestive issues like bloating and gas and even maybe pain, perhaps some skin conditions or fibroids, or you can't sleep at night? There are a host of symptoms that can actually be traced back to food sensitivities. And that's really what we're going to be discussing today, and how these foods can make you feel just awful and what we can do about it. So that's what we're going to be talking about. And I'm so excited because this kind of testing actually can be life-changing. And I've been working with a number of clients on it, and you'd be amazed at the results. So can you give us, Suzanne, perhaps a little bit of background about the company itself?
Sure. The company's been around since 2004, and Brett Duval is the founder, and he actually founded the rapid HIV diagnostics, one of the first ones. So there's a lot of science behind this test. We have a facility in Boston. It's a 20,000 square foot facility, and we are certified, FDA registered. So we have also a patent, a specific patent on this food sensitivity test, which makes us different from other tests that are currently out there on the market.
Well, what is different about this test? What's the patent specifically? What makes it different?
Well, most of the companies out there are using an IgG, where they measure IgG within the body. We are taking the IgG along with what they call a complement. So we're using multiple pathways to test the sensitivity, which picks up more inflammatory markers. Most companies that are doing just the IgG are picking up a lot of false positives, where our test is more accurate.
What would the accuracy rate be?
We stand behind a 98% accuracy for our test.
Wow, 98%.
And there's not too many companies that can say that, but we do stand behind it.
That's unheard of.
And we have the clinical trials to back us up on that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about the difference between an allergy and a sensitivity, because I personally, before I started doing this, I really didn't know what that meant. Could you just explain that?
Yes, and that's really important that people understand the difference between an allergy and a food sensitivity. An allergy and a food sensitivity is simply the body's response. So an allergy is an immediate reaction. So if someone were to eat peanuts, their throat closes up, they get welts on their body, where a food sensitivity or an intolerance is a delayed reaction. A delayed reaction to what I'm saying is the digestive system. So it takes up to 48 to 72 hours before you see any type of reaction to the foods. So we're talking inflammatory.
That's a long time, because it would be so impossible to pinpoint what you ate 72 hours later, because you've had quite a lot of meals in the meantime. There's no way to figure that out.
Absolutely. But people need to understand that this is, again, not an allergy test, which is an immediate reaction. This is a delayed reaction. So I think a lot of people need to know the difference. Okay,
so this slide really is going into the difference in how you test versus how necessarily somebody else tests, showing that you have additional testing, correct?
Absolutely. So on the left side, you see they're using just an IgG, which is one pathway, where on the right side, we're using multiple pathways, where again, we pick up more sensitivity, we pick up inflammatory markers, where on the left side, they may get a lot of false positives.
Okay, I got it. So this is just more about that, the difference, correct? So
Yep.
how would somebody know that they're having a food sensitivity issue?
Well, first of all, if they took the test, they would definitely know what
But
foods are
what kind of
bothering.
symptoms, like if somebody was at home and said, their general malaise, but what other thing, what could we do to identify that maybe that's what our problem is? And because I imagine that most people don't even realize that it could go back to what they're ingesting.
A lot of people will eat the same things. Most of the time, they have a go-to food. If they're seeing a pattern of whether it be allergies, runny nose. I mean, a lot of people think, they have allergies to outdoor or trees or flowers or that really could be related to foods they're eating. I have people that eat eggs every other morning. That will start causing stomach issues. It's really becomes a pattern of what they're eating. And then they would see, oh my God, I noticed that every time I eat that, I get a headache. It's just you need to be more aware of your body and what's going on when you're eating the foods. And I think once people start to eliminate foods, once they find out what they're sensitive to, that's when they'll start to realize what foods are actually causing the issues.
And I think sometimes we just get used to this general feeling of lousy, like of just feeling lousy and not necessarily knowing where it's coming from, but not necessarily either lousy enough to go to a doctor or to say, maybe I should do something about this, or know that they can do something about it. I think sometimes people chalk it up to getting older or to menopause or any number of things without even thinking this could be something so simple as eliminating one type of food. Although I was having dinner with a friend last night and she said, I would love to do the test as long as you don't tell me I'm allergic or sensitive, I should say, to coffee or chocolate. So I'm not even sure that we test for that. Are those on the list? I can't even recall.
They are on the list.
Ah.
And many people do come out with coffee, and it's pretty devastating for them. But they have noticed a tremendous amount of difference for sure.
That would be like a stab in the heart. Coffee or avocados. I couldn't do without my avocados. I love that good fat. I have one nearly every day. So, but on the other hand, if it could make a difference in my energy level and just how I feel every single day, it would be worth eliminating. So I get it. Would you say that this is a common problem?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say probably 2% or 3% of tests came back with nothing on it is very, very rare. We've seen it, but it is absolutely very rare. So I would say there's a 98% of people that have issues with foods and just don't realize it.
Wow, I think it's a worldwide situation and problem, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's very interesting to me because it never was something that occurred to me. And I do in my practice, I do more of a detox. So we're flushing things out. Now, at the same time, I'm also testing my clients for their food sensitivities. So I know what we can add back in and what kind of program they can follow, what sort of meal plan we can set up for them. So that inflammation, everything gets moved out and then we can rebuild a new and healthier body. So it's truly an exciting program that I'm so proud and happy to be a part of this and excited to do it along with my detox program, or even on the side, some people just want to do the test itself and really go from there, eliminating those foods. Speaking of how long, if we find something, let's say, heavens forbid, I am sensitive to avocado, how long would I need to eliminate that from my diet?
We usually tell people at least 90 days. I mean, give it a good 90 days without it, and then slowly reintroduce it back into your diet. So it's a gradual thing. Once the 90 days is over,